Well, the good
God
news is I was
damn.
only sick for a day.
That's true. Yeah. It's just wild that there's people that like, I wish you were more sick. I wish you were in the hospital.
Because I wasn't scared.
He was scared. But that's not even the point. The point is, you are a meathead who tells people they should not get a life-saving vaccine. Welcome to Paul's Coffee Club. It's been a while, guys. Let's do a coffee break real quick. I haven't talked about Joe Rogan in a while. Why would I want to talk about Joe Rogan, right? What's been going on in his life, huh? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, by this time you probably heard it. He got COVID. Everybody's done a story about it. I wish I had done a story about it, but I had other things to do. I got 3 channels, guys, so sometimes it's hard to keep up with stuff. But I thought it was interesting that a clip appeared on this channel today on YouTube where he actually addressed the whole controversy around his COVID experience. In fact, the title right here is Joe's COVID Experience, CNN's ivermectin claims. Long story short, he is very upset that CNN suggested that he took horse paste to rid himself of COVID. And he totally misses the point. Now, if you want a good write-up of what he said about ivermectin and some other stuff, some other people have done some better videos about it. I'm not here to talk about that. My problem with Joe Rogan is this. He had a show with Rhonda Patrick, and now I don't even watch his shows anymore because he moved to Spotify. Let's just get that out of the way. I used to watch his show religiously. If he had somebody on there I really liked, I would watch all 3 hours. I mean, I was a very dedicated fan. Learned a lot from him about how, I think a lot of YouTubers learned a lot from Joe Rogan and how he does his show, how he clips his shows. I'm not sure he started that whole thing where he would do a whole show and have a separate channel for his clips. But he's one of the main reasons I started doing that. So he's very influential. Let me not take that away from him. But I've just kind of drifted away from him the way he has drifted away from a lot of his more liberal ideas. He's gotten very conservative over this pandemic. I just don't find him that interesting anymore. And it's not totally his fault. He has said many times that he is a moron and that nobody should be taking advice from him. So I don't understand why he gives advice or gives his opinion on this medical stuff. Just shut up about it. Let someone else on your show give advice about it. I mean, to his credit, he does ask a lot of questions when he has some kind of doctor or anybody else that knows anything about disease on his show. He lets them talk about it. But there was a clip going around Twitter, and I can't even find it now, but he actually said to Rhonda Patrick that he was unvaccinated. And I was under the impression that he was vaccinated this whole time. But apparently he was afraid after he heard that some people were getting blood clots. And I think he was going to have to get the vaccine for his UFC job. I guess they gave him a pass or whatever. But he didn't get vaccinated. Okay, long story short, he got COVID. He overreacted. Now, this is a guy that has been telling people, if you are in your 20s and you work out and you're in good shape, there's no reason why you should get the vaccine. Okay, let's remember that. He did say that. He did get pushback from Dr. Fauci for saying that. Because we see people in their 20s dying now. We see children dying now. So it's a very irresponsible thing for him to say. Even if you don't die from the disease, you can pass it on to somebody else. So get the vaccine. So he wasn't too concerned about the vaccine because Joe Rogan, he works out. And it feels like to me, I realized this a long time ago about Joe Rogan, even before the pandemic. There's that old saying called Maslow's hammer. If all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So with Joe Rogan, his whole claim to fame in his life is he was some kind of kung fu taekwondo champion, and he likes to work out. So he has a tendency to see that if you have problems in your life, all you need to do is work out. And in fact, I saw this horrible video he did about incels, where he was telling some guest, I forget who the guest was, but he was telling this guest the problem with incels is that they have no confidence, and that if they just worked out and learned ninjutsu, they could be more confident with women. And I remember slapping my head and thinking, that's the most moronic take I've ever heard. If you know anything about incels, it's not that they don't have confidence with women. The fact is they hate women. That's why they can't talk to women, because they hate them and they feel entitled to have sex. I mean, incels will actually say that they feel like they deserve, and a lot of these guys are white. So there's just a sense of entitlement built into our culture anyway, if you're white and American. But a lot of them just hate women, and they feel entitled to get what they feel like is their birthright. So his whole take I remember thinking, wow, that is terrible. So it doesn't surprise me that Joe Rogan took the same tack with COVID. He thinks just working out and staying in shape will keep you from getting sick. Which is why I would say he kind of overreacted when he actually got COVID. And he says he wasn't scared about it, but obviously he was scared about COVID. He got, let's just count the number of things he got. He got ivermectin. We already talked about that. Now, he didn't get the horse dewormer. He actually got the one that is you can get from your doctor that's made for people. He took Z-Pak. I think that's some kind of antibiotics. He took Regeneron, which is the same thing they gave Donald Trump. And here, let me just note, it's experimental. And one of the reasons that he is given for not getting vaccinated is that the Pfizer, Moderna vaccines and the Johnson & Johnson vaccines are all experimental. And yet he's willing to take an experimental antibody drug for COVID, which I think is hilarious. Doesn't make any damn sense. And on top of that, this drug is very expensive. It's like $1,500 or something. Okay, he said he took a vitamin drip. He took all this. He threw all this stuff. He threw the kitchen sink, and those are his words. That he threw the kitchen sink at this disease, and yet he claims in this interview with Tom Segura that he was not scared. So, but that's not even my issue with Joe Rogan. My issue is not his stance on being vaccinated. I've come to the point in my life where I don't even argue with people about being vaccinated, because I live in the South. Everybody in the South is probably, descended from some person that they can track their lineage back to the Civil War. So they're rebellious by nature. And if you know anything about rebellious people, the more you tell them to do something, the less likely they are to do it. So I just completely shut up about recommending the vaccine to people. Now, there are some instances, there are some very close friends of mine that I really don't want to see die, who I still recommend that they get vaccinated, but I kind of do it quietly. Maybe you should get vaccinated. It is free. And that's my issue with Joe Rogan. It's not the fact that he got all this drug cocktail to deal with COVID. It's the fact that he spent likely thousands of dollars on this drug cocktail when he could have gotten the vaccine for freaking free. It is a free vaccine. So for the first time in my life, I actually feel a little bit superior to Joe Rogan, because he had to go to his doctor. I didn't have to go to my doctor because I haven't gotten sick from COVID, because I got the vaccine. And I didn't go to my doctor to get it. I went to a freaking Kmart, a former Kmart, because The Kmart, they were giving out the shots and had to close down. But I went to this former Kmart building and got my vaccine shot. Joe Rogan's running to his doctor and getting all this stuff prescribed to him, spending thousands of dollars when he could have gotten the vaccine for free. And he's telling other people who don't have the money that he has to not to get the vaccine. That's my problem with Joe Rogan. And in fact, he doesn't even, he still doesn't see that. It's still going over his head why people were so upset that he got COVID and that he's taking these experimental drugs. It's not the fact that you got COVID, it's the fact that you've been telling people that it was no big deal. And he even suggested in this video, and I'll just play a little bit of this video. I might have to cut this out, I don't know. But I'll just let the video speak for itself.
Having people wish you got sicker, isn't that crazy to you?
I didn't pay attention.
It's crazy to me. I mean, I've had people, wish harm on me and threaten me, and
Well, the good news is I was only sick for a day.
that's true. Yeah. It's just wild that there's people that like, I wish you were more sick. I wish you were in the hospital.
Because I wasn't scared during the entire pandemic. What they would like is that when I did get sick, that I was really sick.
And you learned.
Let me just stop here. He was scared. But that's not even the point. The point is you are a meathead who tells people they should not get a life-saving vaccine. That is the problem. But no one's hating on you. He actually goes on to say that people are just haters. We're not hating on you. I love Joe Rogan. I used to love him. I used to watch all his shows. I have no hate for Joe Rogan. He is just wrong. He should stick to what he's said many times before, and the fact that he is a moron and no one should listen to him. He's entertaining, and I will say that about my show too. Don't take medical advice from me. Now, if I give medical advice, if I recommend anything, it's because it's been recommended by some highly intelligent people. It's been recommended by institutions like the CDC. So there's nothing controversial for me recommending that somebody get the vaccine. It's been FDA approved. And if you have a problem with mRNA vaccines, the Johnson vaccine is the old type of vaccine. So you don't even have an excuse there if you don't trust this new science that they use to make vaccines. The only thing, so I don't want to talk too much more about this. He's gotten the wrong lesson from this experience. And, he's a rich guy. No one can tell him his business. So, we just have to, it just has to, be what it is. It is what it is. So I'm just going to leave him alone. Like I said, since he's gone to Spotify, I don't really watch him that much. It's just laziness on my part. I just didn't want to download Spotify. I will say the fact that he encouraged people to get fit. That I do wholeheartedly agree with that. But again, just because you are fit, that does not mean you are immune to disease. And I got a great example. My oldest brother, who never had a cavity in his life, who ate all the right foods, he went to the gym regularly, he died of leukemia. Okay? So sometimes that isn't even enough. But there are many diseases that are a result of people not taking care of themselves, eating the wrong things, heart disease, diabetes, all those things. So it's good that he does encourage people to stay fit, but when it comes to a disease like COVID, I'm starting to wonder, do people just not take it seriously because it's not that lethal? Because I'm pretty sure if we had an epidemic of Ebola in this country, because Ebola was 90%, it has a death rate of 90%. We had something like Ebola and was killing everybody, I think everybody would be lining up to get the vaccine. I mean, everybody. In fact, I'll go even further than that and say, I think people would take the vaccine more seriously if they actually charge for it. Let's say they charge like $500 for the vaccine. Then you would have a reverse problem. You have people protesting in the street that they can't afford the vaccine and that it should be free to everybody. I think the fact that it is free and that the disease is not as lethal as some other diseases that people just as a result don't take it seriously. But I don't know. I still like Joe Rogan, but I just think he's misguided on this one issue. But that's all I got for today. I'd like to thank my subscribers. Encourage you. Hit that subscribe button. Give me a like down below. Comment. Tell me what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments. And I will see you when I see you. Thanks for watching.